Do you want your apology now or later?
What is my apology for? You know what? I think I want the apology now.
You want your apology now?
Yeah, I want to start the day off on a highlight.
Your apology, Tony was right. Tony made an observation and Dan shot him down because Dan thinks he's a big smartass. That was Rob Gronkowski in Boss Level.
In Boss Level? Ah! Yeah! You idiot!
Hey, watch him! With Dan and Tony! Hey, watch him! With Dan and Tony! It's like watching, yeah!
Welcome to Hate Watching with Dan and Tony. I'm Dan, and I've got a new set of headphones, and my cord is very short now.
Oh, no. I'm Tony, and I switch headphones almost weekly because I never remember where I put the ones from the week before. So I find whatever I can find around the house.
We like to watch movies, and we also, for some reason, like to watch bad movies, which actually we don't like to watch bad movies. We force ourselves to watch bad movies so we can spend a little time together talking about said bad movies. This week, Tony made a pick, and tell us about your pick, Tony.
Well, if people didn't join the last episode, I want to put it in perspective of why I picked this movie. There were some negative things with animals in Chaos Walking.
Okay.
Some horrible treatment of animals, like killing them. And so I was like, I was personally offended. I love animals. So I was like, I want to do like a fun, family, animal-friendly flick. So I picked Kevin Spacey's 9 Lives, and it missed on every single account, especially Kindness to Animals.
This is not really a Kindness to Animals movie. I didn't really.
This is a movie, Dan, about a cat written by people who A, have only seen cats in YouTube videos, and B, don't like cats at all. They hate their main character, and they spend the movie hating this cat. And I was like, what the fuck am I watching right now? Who would buy a movie about a cat written by people that hate cats? Stupid.
Well, yes, as you all probably know, Kevin Spacey turns into a cat and then spends most of the movie as a cat. And he's a dick at the start. He's a dick during being a cat until he is forced to act like he's not a dick.
Yep.
And he sort of makes a selfless maneuver, sort of.
Is that
sort of?
Or is it just stupid?
Well, it's stupid, but it's portrayed as a selfless maneuver to sort of, make everything better. And then at the end, they go to actually buy a cat, so they end up with the same cat. And then
actually, they go to buy a dog, Dan, because he still, at the end of the movie, hates cats. Hates them. He was just a cat, still hates them, wants a dog. Fuck you.
There it is. So, this movie...
Full disclosure, I'm a huge cat person.
Yeah. I like cats, but they scare me because of those claws. Those powerfully dangerous pointy claws is like, You're afraid of needles. I'm afraid of cats' claws clawing into me. So I love to pet cats and see them. But if they start making a move, I go,
I'm out. I'm out of here.
So we had maybe one cat as kids, and she was very sweet, or maybe a couple of cats.
Yeah.
But I never. That's the funny thing is I never had that as an incident as a child, which turned me off to it. But
sure, but it still happened either way.
I of course did not write down what year this movie was because I'm an idiot.
I think it's 2016.
26. Oh yeah, it is 2016. I looked at this was kind of Barry Sonnenfeld's last movie for good reason. This was
how?
What do you mean?
How did that happen? What happened?
You mean how did he direct this monstrosity?
I mean, I don't think he did. I think he just put his name on it.
No.
Come on. Yeah, right.
Well, once again, this is one of those movies that you get to the end and you're like, I want to hold someone accountable. So I want to find the press junket for this movie and have these people talking about this movie and giving it its praises and trying to explain why the hell they were involved with it. Of course, you can't find that because these kind of movies don't have press junkets. They just put them out there and hope they disappear, hope they make some money and then are forgotten. He went on to do the series of unfortunate events, the Lemony Snicket TV show
with the daughter,
with the same girl. Which I watched maybe a little bit of that and I turned it off because I hate that.
Oh, you didn't like it?
No. Well, what's his name was horrible.
Neil Patrick Harris.
Yeah.
But is it Patrick
Warburton?
Yeah. He's great. He's great.
And just the whole premise of that thing is always really weird. And I don't know, it just never has resonated. Although this little girl in that was great. She was amazing.
She was awesome.
She was amazing.
Yeah. I get it why you would hire her again.
She was,
even in this, like, she was good. She was not the worst thing in this movie.
No.
By far.
Lots of options for that. So yeah, Barry Sonnenfeld, who made a huge splash with Men in Black and then made Wild West and then has just become... so the one thing I did find was like 19 minutes of on the scene, on the, them shooting the movie, and it was him directing. Yeah. Right there's front and center. He was directing this mess.
That's just so hard for me to believe. He also did the Addams Family.
Yeah, which were pretty good.
Yeah. And fun, like, even if they're not great movies, there's jokes in them, which is great. There's, like, timing, and I don't know, man. I don't know.
This movie has, once again, this is one of those movies that is so thin. It's just paper thin. I mean, basically the plot is he gets turned into a cat. He's a Donald Trump type who's only obsessed with having the largest building in Chicago. Then he's got like a...
Well, in the U.S., right?
Yeah.
Because then he's in competition with a different building.
In the U.S. Because there's always foreign buildings that are bigger. I mean, once again... And he's like, they're incredibly rich, so they can do whatever they want. And you just... There's really no stakes. At the end, the son is going to, we think, go commit suicide.
Yeah, which I thought we were going to save that for a little bit. But, whoa, Dan. Isn't this a family-friendly movie? Like, the whole point is it's like a funny kids movie. But this guy's going to go kill himself? And I have problems.
And we'll get to that. But the bigger structural problem is, in a movie where everyone is millionaires and they're going to sell the company and get...
Didn't you say billions?
Billions of dollars.
Yeah.
And so the negative outcome, not just the death of him because he's going to die, sort of, maybe, who knows, is that your company is going to get sold and you're going to get billions of dollars. You're like, whew, what a nightmare. How are these people going to sleep at night with the injustice that has occurred to them?
It turns out they might not. They might just jump off the tallest building in the U.S. and kill themselves.
So we start off with a bunch of cute cat videos, which is...
Well, first, hold on. The very first thing we get is an adorable meow in the opening logo.
Oh, okay.
If you remember that. It's like, meow. And I was like, oh, I'm going to love this movie. How wrong I was, Dan.
We should have watched like Cats versus Dogs or Hotel for Dogs or one of those movies if you want to watch a bad movie that's just about dogs talking and that kind of crap. Because this is just about one shitty person being a shitty cat.
And being a shitty cat.
So all these cute sort of cat videos, and then we pan up to the sky, and there's Kevin Spacey about to jump out of an airplane into the city, which of course has to be hugely illegal.
Yeah, not allowed at all.
Not ever allowed. And then his son is there. Son from
Robbie Amell,
who's like one of your guys, right?
He's the best part of this movie. That is correct, Dan. I do love Robbie Amell.
And what is he from? He's Supernatural Boy?
Well, close. It is the CW, but not Supernatural. He's the first time I saw him was on The Flash. He's one of the side characters on The Flash. And then he went on and made a movie with his, I want to say they're cousins. Him and Steven, I think, are cousins. And they made a movie called Code 8, which is awesome. It's a cool superhero indie film. Check it out, guys. I did back the Kickstarter. So good. And now he's doing that other show, the comedy show where he dies. And then he's like in a machine and they can talk to him. I can't remember what it's called.
He dies and he's in a machine?
Yeah. Come on. You remember?
No, I don't.
Shit. I'll look it up. You keep going on this plot here. I'm going to look this up.
So he's not. Who's on Supernatural? His brother?
Nobody's on Supernatural. Well, I mean, Jensen Ackles is Supernatural, and he's the dreamiest of the dreamy. But Robbie Amell also very cute. But his cousin Stephen Amell was Arrow.
Oh, his cousin is Arrow. That's what it is. Okay,
Yes.
That's why I know the name. So I don't know him, and he's just good-looking garbage. Yeah, nothing.
He's good-looking and charming.
I mean, he's fine.
Yeah, he's fine. In this movie, fine is great. I mean, come on.
So he jumps out of the plane, parachutes, land on his big building, and then talks about how it's going to be he's there for a press conference. So these stupid things where there's all this press around an asshole like him. And he's kind of a proto-Trump. It's kind of a Trump thing.
But like a more fun Trump who can actually like move, which is great. But can we just talk a second about this landing? He parachutes down from a plane and just like softly lands directly down.
Yeah.
He doesn't come in with the wind at all. It's just like a straight down shot and he just gently touches down. He's dead. The guy's dead. He missed the building by like 30 yards and he's still flying around. I was like, oh God, hitting sides of buildings. I was really mad.
And just to set up that he's an asshole, he basically calls his son a piece of shit for not jumping with him. I mean, right at the beginning.
There's a lot of like emasculating that happens in this movie for some reason, and I don't know why.
Well, because they have to emasculate that character because he's just an asshole, And it's just like, at one point they walk by his very cluttered office filled with stuff about work, and he's like, "Oh, why are you always working like an idiot?" Just like, what? I mean, it's like sort of the one thing you think he'd respect is like, "Oh, you're working, good, keep it up." But no,
right? Like you got the drive, great. The company's in good hands.
Yeah, I'm not going to spend any time with you, but good luck cleaning the toilets. Who knows? So we're back at the office. We find out that the evil guy Ian. Very dirty name, Ian, evil Ian, wants the public offering the thing. So here's the plot line. Oh, they're gonna sell my company out from under me, and I'm gonna be a billionaire, but I'm not gonna have a really tall building.
I mean, that was his defense of not selling. It wasn't like I love this company and we need to keep it is because it's a family whatever. I don't know. He's just like, if I don't own that building when it's finished, I'm gonna be very upset, you guys. So let's keep it.
Yeah, because when I'm dead, the only thing that matters is that building has my name stamped on the side.
Didn't he say like in 100 years that building will still be the tallest one? I was like, nah, bitch. That's not how that works. In 100 years, something's going to be either better or that'll be demolished.
I think he did say that his name would still be on it, as opposed to it being the.
Oh, is that?
I think it was just his stupid name. And there you actually have a premise. That is a real premise. This guy that is obsessed with slapping his name on things, but instead,
just the one thing,
or everything. Make it about him.
Sure.
That's a premise you could sort of exploit.
Oh, no, I just meant in this movie.
Oh, in this movie, yeah. No.
He just is focused on the one thing.
No.
Just the one.
And that never comes up again in the entire movie, that his name must be on that building. It is then transitioned to it must be the tallest for 15 minutes, because that's going to give him something else to be important.
But speaking of the name, they do bring the name back and try to make it like one of the emotional connections of the film or whatever, but they also just completely skate over it.
Okay.
It was very weird. Robbie Amell is the one who came up with the name as a child. Spoiler alert for the end of the movie. I was going to complain about it later.
Firebrand.
But nobody gives a shit. Like, why even bring that up if that's not going to be important to any of the characters at all? We'll talk about it later.
Yeah, it was another very stupid thing. So we meet Jennifer Garner and the daughter. Jennifer Garner's his trophy wife, who's in real life 15 years younger than him. Shannon, my wife, was like, "Who's in the movie?" She's like, I was like, Jennifer Garner. Is like, "Oh, you're gonna have fun because you hate her so much." I hate her.
Oh, really?
I find her to be not funny, not attractive, annoying, and I mean, just like I find her to be blank, just nothing of interest there.
Yeah, I agree with the blank and not funny. I don't find her annoying in any way. She's just kind of, there for me, and she doesn't bother me, but I also am not excited about it.
Yeah, I guess I'm mostly annoyed is because she's taking up space from someone who could be interesting. Like even have interesting eyebrows or interesting haircut. It's like Cheryl Hines comes on and you're like, oh my God, I'm looking at her ass. And you're like,
see, now that was a casting mistake in my opinion, because Cheryl Hines is like so far out of that league. Huge mistake. I mean, whatever.
I mean, yeah, she's probably 10 to 15 years older, 10 times sexier, 10 times cooler. And then they kind of set her up as like the evil character, but she doesn't even get to really be evil. She has to be, she's kind of good.
She's not evil at all. The only person that's like actually evil in the movie is her daughter.
Her daughter's evil.
That little jerk.
Actually, that's one of the few good scenes in the thing. What a little monster she is at one point.
Yeah, she's awful.
Okay, so 100 years from now, the brand name, 51%, sell the shares at my funeral. They're going to beat us by 60 feet. Oh, he gives the son the parachute. So that we've set up the parachute. Now, at the very end, when he's committing suicide and we see the parachute, did you have that all figured out?
Not only I didn't have it all figured out because I should have gone back and watched this. I'm pretty sure you see his back when he's up on the roof and he does not have a parachute on. I swear.
You know what's super interesting is I was watching it and I was like, I did not think he had a parachute on. And I was like, oh, I'll go back and rewatch that. And then I was like, no, I won't.
No, what a waste of time. I could do so many other things with that 4 minutes. I don't want to do it at all.
I don't really care.
Yeah, I get it. I get that.
Okay, then then we do a whole thing where he doesn't get his daughter birthday presents. He got her a foosball table, and the mom got her a makeup kit.
Right. So here's my question, Dan, and maybe that's what she asked for from her mom. I don't know, but I don't think so, because the only thing she talks about wanting is a cat. And then it's basically put on Kevin Spacey like, oh, you're not getting her a cat. Well, the mom didn't get her a cat. Why? I don't understand. She got a makeup bag. Who cares? That's like $8. Unless it's like really fancy makeup, whatever. I don't know. But yes, I understand that the point is like he doesn't get her personalized presents. But last year he got her a foosball table.
It does say Dad loves you or whatever.
Which is hilarious to me. And everyone's like, you're a bad dad. I was like, he's not a bad dad. He's just an idiot. Like, he's a dumb dad. I don't know.
So then we have the big charity dinner. Tony, why did we have the big charity dinner? Why did we shoot that scene?
I don't even remember. Oh, this is where she's like, he's going to be part of this for 7 more years. And he's like, no, 5, as if that's a funny joke. Like, okay, 2 years less, who gives a shit?
What did that have to do with the plot? The big charity dinner?
Nothing?
It had nothing to do.
What is the charity for? Did we learn that?
They might have said. Doesn't matter. It's this scene that you're like, oh, something's going to happen at the big charity dinner. And then they have the big charity dinner and it's like 2 minutes and then it's done.
What's weird is it kind of paints him in a positive light, right? Like, it's not like he was dragged here. I didn't see him like her. It's not like his wife is doing it and forcing him to do it.
Nope.
I don't even remember that happening, but it doesn't make sense with this, character we've set up where he's the bad guy.
So now he's with the board of directors and he's like, what should we get my daughter for her birthday? It's weird.
It's not only weird, but it's there's the button on this scene is one of the dumbest, least funny jokes ever. When he's like, I don't want to get her an animal, is basically what Kevin Spacey says. And then the guy's like, how about a pony? As if if I was Kevin Spacey, that guy's immediately fired for being the dumbest human in the world.
And, we're going to go back to the Dan Goodsell point. Scrooged. He's terrible. Make him terrible. But Kevin Spacey's character can't. He's sort of just an asshole. He's not terrible.
Yeah, he's just kind of like what you imagine the head of a company is.
Yeah.
But I will say, for some reason, he's creepy in this movie.
Well, yeah, because we all know.
Is that it? But he even when he smiles in this movie, it feels so fake. I never get like a genuine human emotion from him, and I was like, man, this guy's like a broken cyborg. Like he just can't quite put on a human emotion.
The problem is we all know. We all know, or at least we all have a feeling as to who he really is based on who he really is in life. And you can't come back from that. Once you're in, once you're locked into that. I mean, that it was so interesting with Mel Gibson in Boss Level. You're like, Mel works hard to try to make that go away. Right?
Yeah. He
tries to be an actor, do things that are different. Kevin Spacey's just like, I embody Kevin Spacey 24/7. And I'm even creepier and weirder in this movie because it's a kid's movie.
Yeah. Yep.
So we meet Cheryl Hines and the daughter and their two dogs, and there's going to be a party happening. So he has to race home in his super expensive car, and he does all these crazy maneuvers in the city.
Hold on, though. Let's start at the beginning of this scene where he starts his car and like what's that called on the back? The spoiler like pops up. I was like, that's cool. Except for he's in the middle of the parking lot. He's not in a parking space. He's literally in the middle of where everyone would need to drive. And ostensibly, that's where he parks the car, because when he comes back, that's exactly where he parks. He just parks in the middle. Does nobody else work here? You can't get past that car. It is ridiculous, guys. And I'm sure they had to do it because it's like, well, we can't get the cool shot if he's against the wall. But guys, no.
And that's what Barry Sonnenfeld brings to your movie. He brings shots that are supposed to act like they're exciting but really look terrible, and you like and break reality and make you feel bad about yourself. And I didn't think we were going to be able to talk about this terrible movie, and here we are going on.
Dan, I got a lot to say. I took 7 pages of notes. That's very unusual for me. We won't cover them all. I'm hitting my highlights.
So he's racing through traffic, and then his thing tells him he's got to go to see Christopher Walken at the weird cat store.
I'm still confused about this scene. He was going to get a cat, though, right?
I think so.
And then he throws his phone, and it's broken, but then it brings him to a cat store. Was it not the cat store he was planning on going to? It's a different cat store. He doesn't think that's weird. He doesn't be like, well, that's not the name I typed into my GPS phone. And I don't understand.
And the cat store is in an alley, and he parks like right in front of the cat store in this weird alley.
No one can get by. Nobody can get by that car. That's his thing. He likes to take up multiple lanes.
And then he's like, gets out of the car, and then there's all these groups of 3 cats. 3 cats. 3 cats. 3 cats. Is that what the stupid song is? Is the stupid song about 3 cats?
Is it We 3 Cats? Well, that's the Kings. We 3 Kings.
Might be We 3 Cats. I don't know. There's this weird. They play this weird song like 2 or 3 times. And you're just like, I don't understand what this song means. I've never heard this song.
Cool Cats, isn't it? It's like We Cool Cats. That's not it at all.
It's kind of like, music is like this powerful thing you put in there. It's like, you got the immigrant song in Thor Ragnarok, which I guess they used twice. He used it twice. Taika's like, I'm using it twice. It's like at the searcher thing at the beginning, at the end, whatever. It doesn't matter.
Right.
And you're just like, he plays this song, and we're all like, yes, the greatest battle scene ever made by humankind because the immigrant song is playing. This movie uses music, and you're just like, what is happening?
The music soup, short for supervisor, should have been fired. Just out the door.
So Christopher Walken's in this weird green suit and this weird hairdo, and Tony, he's the one who makes him turn into a cat. Lets a cat take his body over or something. Yeah. And he does this for your classic reason of, because this guy's an asshole and he has to learn to not be an asshole. But this Christopher Walken is just so weird. It feels like it's some nefarious thing to it.
Yeah. I mean, 100%. And also, why is Christopher Walken in this movie? I mean, thank God he was, because he made me laugh a bunch. Not because he was being funny or like joking, but like because it was so weird. And I was like, the only person that could make that work is Christopher Walken. You put anyone else in that role, and it's super forgettable. But with Christopher Walken, it's like, what is happening? Why are you here?
Well, in some ways, that kind of makes it worse because he's so interesting. In this movie, you're like, oh, there's going to be something really interesting. He's going to be like, if you don't do what you need to do, then in 4 days, I become the king of Gotham City, like something like really weird where you're like, oh, that's what this is about. But you're like, you're waiting for like the real Stephen King thing to happen.
Sure.
And it's just not there.
So the whole time I was watching this, I was thinking about the movie Click. Do you remember Click?
Which one's that?
Click is the Adam Sandler movie. Yeah. And Christopher Walken plays almost the same role, where he's like the guy at the video store or whatever that gets him the remote that, pauses, or I don't even remember what the plot is.
I think he can do whatever. I think he can go backwards and forwards and then he breaks it, right? Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. But Christopher Walken in that movie, I haven't seen it in years, but I remember liking it and thinking like, God, he was so good in that. And this is the exact same role. And the whole time I'm thinking, what is going on? What is happening right now? I don't understand any of this.
Well, and that's the whole thing is, the magician gives you like the love potion to let you fall in love with your the woman you love, and then you figure out that that's not what you want, and that's really creepy and weird, and you learn something, and it's your whole magician causing learning, but it's never really laid out. It's just sort of hinted at and danced around.
Also, he doesn't really learn anything. I would argue he learns nothing in this movie.
Well, ostensibly he's less of a dick to his son.
Is he? Because the end, literally the last voiceover, I think I wrote it down, Dan. Let me go to the end of 7 pages here. Because the last voiceover, he says, this is Kevin Spacey saying it, you probably want to hear something like, I've learned something or changed. But, and then he goes on to talk. He says a but there, Dan.
Well, and you've heard my soliloquy on but, right?
No.
Oh.
Have I?
Okay.
Do it.
You don't want to hear this because once you hear this, my poor wife, whenever you say the word but, it means that everything you just said is not true and you don't believe it.
Correct. Yes.
I've just told a bunch of lies about what are things. Here's what I truly believe, and I just said that to pacify you and to make you feel like
you placate them.
You placate
with that,
the person
and then they're like,
but it's like,
yep,
I love you, but really I just hate you.
Right. It's like, oh, okay, so just the second part.
And
then.
so,
thanks, guys.
But I try to eliminate but from my vocabulary because it is the most disingenuous. It sets up disingenuous sentences.
Interesting.
Yeah. So he says, you thought I'd learned something, but I did not.
That's essentially what it says. And then he goes on to talk about how he still hates cats and wants a dog, which also infuriated me. I'm going to bring that up several times in this.
So cat. So he buys the cat. So now he goes to the party. What's the party? And there's a weird elevator ride to there's the party's going on. And then he rides the elevator to the top of his building.
Yeah, he's meeting the other dude at the top of the building.
Ian.
Yeah. Ian.
And is this where the elevator's like a disco? No, that was another TV show I watched.
I don't even.
I wrote weird elevator ride to the top. Why was the elevator ride weird?
I don't know, because he brings the cat, maybe?
I don't know.
I have no idea. I don't know.
And so Ian's up there and he's like, you blew it. And then he dies. He falls off the... Wait, how does he die? Does he fall off the
Yeah,
building?
I mean, I don't remember exactly what happens,
Oh,
but
he's like clinging to the side, and Ian's like,
yeah,
good
he
luck.
stumbles over the edge, and then Ian won't help him. And then, because this movie hates cats, he grabs a wicker basket with a cat and then falls down the building,
And then crashes
catches
through a
onto
window.
something, breaks into a window, Die Hard style.
So then we do the whole thing where we sort of set out that they realize the cat is for the daughter. Somehow, this cat's taken with him to the hospital and blah 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 blah. So the family ends up with the cat. He's now the cat. Daddy got me a cat. Back at the apartment, and now he starts to try to communicate as the cat. And we have like some really terrible things where he plays with a pen and it squirts ink and he can't write and he tries the iPad
And now, again, just quickly.
Yeah.
This is made by people who have never seen a cat move in their life. It is the most unrealistic CGI garbage. Like, it's not even Garfield, which is literally meant to be a ridiculous cartoon, is more realistic than the shit that happens in this movie.
So you didn't find it really funny? All these
No, I found this cat to be demonic in like not a good way, in a way that it's like, well, that's not a cat, guys. I don't know what it is, but it's not a cat.
And the little girl's like, when's Dad coming home? And then she literally spends no time or energy on the cat, which I thought was really strange. I thought there'd at least be like a little bit like, Mr. Fuzzy Pants, why?
Yeah. No, there should be a connection.
So then we get another whole hijinks where he wants to get drunk and succeeds. Yeah.
So let's talk about that for a second. In a children's movie, we do a 10-minute scene about the family cat breaking into a liquor cabinet and getting drunk off his ass, stumbling around the house. Well, I'm a cat, blah, blah, blah. What is happening? Well, who thought that this was a good idea, Dan?
And then he pisses on the rug just for spite.
Yep. He's on the rug because he's mad, which is, whatever, it's fine. And then he wakes up and he's hungover. Dan.
And then he complains about having them putting out cat food and the litter box. Like, blah, I'm not going to eat that cat food. I'm going to...
In his defense, Dan, That's not cat food. Whatever they put on that tray is disgusting. It's like cat food with jelly on top. And I mean like Smucker's jelly on top.
Well, when we used to get, when we were kids, we'd get the canned ham, right? Be like this big canned ham. And you'd open it up, and then to fill up the extra spots, because you wouldn't want air in there, they put gelatin.
Okay.
So there'd be like this gooey, clear gelatin. And I loved that. Oh my God. I would just wait for that gelatin to come out, because the ham's cooked. And it's like meat flavored Jello. Oh.
I mean, hard to go wrong with that. It sounds so gross.
So, it's just a little.
So there you go. There's a little tidbit into Dan's life, everybody.
In case you were wondering. One thing I want to bring up is I was looking at the podcast, right? Our podcast.
Oh, okay. And that's a big mistake.
Because I was trying to figure out, when are we up for a year, which is in October. We started this in October.
Oh, wow.
And you have them numbered so randomly. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 5, 5, 7, 8, 2, 1, 0, -3.
Okay, first
15
of all,
episodes without a number. Then it's like 36, 36, 34, 41, 87. I'm like, what the hell? I mean, I don't care, but it's going to be very funny if someone was trying to like listen to these things and they're just like, what the fuck is happening?
Listen, Dan, you don't think I know this? Okay.
Well, you might know it. I never noticed it before. I just think it's very
And
funny.
that's the problem, is because somebody else needed to be monitoring these numbers, because I was a mess. And that's why for a while they went without numbers, because I was like, I don't know what the fuck is happening, but these numbers are so wrong. So I tried to like reset. And it's too late. You can't re-upload a video. You can't like fix it in post, as they say.
I just thought that was very funny. Funnier
it's
than this whole stupid movie. Okay. Ian is plotting. He wants Fruity Pebbles. And so they...
Oh, hold on. I just want to say one thing. Sorry, just about cats. Don't put the litter box next to the water. They're not going to use it. All right, continue.
Oh, okay. He wants Fruity Pebbles, so we have this whole weird Fruity Pebbles thing. We have this weird thing where he knocks over all these knives, and the knives stick in the floor. That was so weird. There was no danger involved. It's just like we're making these knives.
Just making a mess.
And then ex-wife shows up, is there for dinner, which is like, once again, really weird. And then there's a chase.
Why is she there?
Because they're friends, and she's...
Are they?
It's kind
I
of...
don't understand.
It's kind of weird, because if like my ex-wife was to show up and hang out with Shannon and spend all of her time saying, you should divorce Dan, it'd be kind of weird.
Although we do learn that she is, in fact, divorcing Kevin Spacey.
Thinking about it, for good reason. That's just so weird.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing's doesn't make no sense.
Then the new little daughters, or the Cheryl Hines' daughters, like, your dad's going to die. And so
she's a horrible, horrible person. At one point, I don't remember exactly what she says, but she says something like, your dad never spent time with you, and my dad spends time with me. And I was like, well, then maybe he shouldn't, because you are a terrible child. Maybe he's a bad influence because you're the devil.
Did we ever see him?
No, we never once meet whoever this dad is. I don't even know if she has a dad. I mean, she has a dad,
Maybe.
But I don't know who it is.
Maybe.
I doubt they're even still married, right? The Cheryl's probably twice divorced, would be my guess. Because otherwise, why would she keep coming over with the daughter, but the husband never comes?
We never see a husband. Yeah, that's weird. So Kat pisses in her bag. Then there's a big chase scene. Somebody says, you should put that cat down.
Yeah.
And then they're like, we got to hire a cat trainer.
Yep.
So the next morning, he has destroyed the whole Yellow Pages and just the ad for Mr. Perkins.
I do appreciate the what's the Yellow Pages joke from the daughter.
A decent joke.
One of the only jokes of the movie.
One of the only jokes that is actually a joke that lands.
Yes.
Son has a plan to make the tower the biggest. He's going to put a pyramid on the top. And he and Ian are fighting. And then he's like, we could do it if we use titanium. Whatever.
It's a great song.
Then Walken shows up to sort of whisper the cat. And he's like, "You."
Oh, right. Oh, because they hired a cat trainer.
Yeah, because he tore it out of the newspaper. You never figured that out?
Didn't put that together until just right now.
You thought Walken just showed up at the apartment?
I was like, what the hell is this guy doing? And everyone just lets him in. I was like, I don't understand what's happening right now. It tracks.
Yeah,
it makes sense.
There is a small amount of sense in this movie. And so he gives him the speech, you better behave or you're a cat forever. And then we find the ultimate thing where they're like, aha, we're going to cut off your balls and fix you unless you obey.
Yep. Which
is exactly what you want in a kid's movie, the idea of castrating your animals to get them to obey properly.
Also, just, side note, guys, do it. Spay, neuter your pets. It's good.
Thank you, Bob.
Put that out there.
Thank you, Bob Barker.
Yeah. Oh, Bob.
And so then he's good. And he eats, he plays, he baths.
But not because he's a good person.
No.
That's what upsets me. He's only doing it out of more self-interest.
Well,
so he's not learning anything. He's faking nice.
This is second act. This is what you do in the second act. This is second act stuff. He's not supposed to change in the second act.
But he doesn't change in the third act.
Well, kind of.
No, he commits suicide in the third act.
That's true. Josh calls. I'm on my way up. Check bags for poops. Mr. Fuzzy Pants steals the keys, and then she's like, give me those keys. And then she gives this, like, the one joke I wrote down. I'm legally barred from castrating my husband, but not you. Or something to that effect.
Yep. 2 castration jokes within like 5 minutes. Great stuff, guys. Really strong. Also, like, she is effectively castrating her husband, though. So it's kind of wish fulfillment on her part.
Oh. So he sneaks into the car. And there's something about you're selling the company.
Yeah. Hold on. You're gonna tell me, Dan, that as a human person with eyeballs, somehow a cat is going to follow you out of the house.
No. The cat did a whole thing on the outside of the building.
Okay, sure. Sneaks out of the house, sneaks into your car.
Yeah, they sort of show
then
that.
You drive. You drive.
Yeah.
You get there. It follows you out of the car.
They show that
because there's no sneaking out of the car there. Dan's got to go out the door.
She's like getting out, and it goes shoop, right behind her.
And
they showed it.
And then follows her. I'm sorry. That she is the dumbest person on earth. Then she's the least. She shouldn't be driving if she's that unobservant.
It's Jennifer.
She's a danger to others.
Jennifer Garner. She's probably that stupid. I guess that's. I didn't have to go that far because I think she's stupid and horrible as it is.
You just bought it. You're just like, yeah, boy, Jennifer Garner, what an idiot.
An idiot.
It's good.
So here it is. We think that this is like the guy that she's having an affair with, even though we don't think that even for a second. Because
not even a little bit.
He literally got introduced in the plot like 30 seconds earlier. So we're just like, what is this? Who is this Chad? And she's like looking at a new house. And then she spills it out to Chad. I was thinking about leaving Tom. And then he's there as a cat listening to everything. Yeah. Because they always, like they say, they always figure out a way for the cat to be wherever it needs to be.
100%. But here's my thing, is she was like, I can't, is this the I can't do this anymore part?
Maybe.
Is this where she decides not to leave?
Yes, this is where she decides not to leave.
Okay, because we need to talk about that for a second. Yeah. She's telling this dude that she's not leaving. He's like, well, why not? And she's like, because the last thing that my husband did was for our daughter. He bought her a fucking cat. That's what saves your marriage?
Wait, hold on. Let me write down how I wrote it.
Okay,
I love him because he actually did something for his daughter when he was forced to. That is
ostensibly what I'm getting.
That's the linchpin of this. When I was forced to do something for my daughter, when I had to under penalty of death,
he came through,
and that's why I love him.
And so I forgive everything else, and we're magically fixed. So dumb.
Okay, back at home, Daddy might not wake up because he's been. Oh, then little daughter's like, he's been working so hard, he needs extra sleep.
Yeah, kids are dumb, dude.
Then the little girl plays with the cat and the balloon, and Tony really liked how that's how he plays with his cat and a balloon.
I got a balloon. 30 seconds later, I was like, let's see what happens. He didn't give a shit. My guy just watched it and then left.
Then I wrote, I should have been a better dad. And then I wrote, Steph's sister is a bitch. Is this the point at which...
This is where she posts the crybaby thing.
So she's crying She's crying over her dad. So the evil stepsister takes a picture of her and then is posting to their entire class, crybaby.
Yeah. What? Her dad is probably dead. This is the most callous person in the world. I would have knocked her out. 100%. I would have slugged her.
So he throws the phone in the toilet, and then she pulls.
Well, all that happens, she's like, the stepsister's like, hey, we're friends. Why are you mad? And it's like, first of all, no, you're not. And you don't even think that, so it's dumb to say that. But then she's like, when are you going to get it through your head? We're not friends. And throws the thing in the toilet. I was like, what is happening? Nobody thinks they're friends. They hate each other.
They hate each other. But you gotta live. You gotta learn to live with your step siblings. You know.
I guess that's
But
true.
sometimes you gotta throw their shit in the toilet.
Which she then fishes out, which I thought was
And then she
really
walks
great.
out and goes, "Ooh!" It's
Like,
really weird.
Get a towel, you idiot! You're in the bathroom.
And then he's like, "I will now be the best cat ever." We don't buy it. So
I don't buy it, but I also whatever.
So he sneaks into a box. So Robbie Amell sneaks him back to the
Again,
office.
what an unobservant idiot. You bring the box in, you set it on the ground, and then within 2 minutes, you pick it back up. You remember about how heavy that box is. If it suddenly gets 12 to 15 pounds heavier,
He's a fat guy.
you're going to look inside.
Maybe. So once again, he's like, he goes into the office and the bad guys have the secret paper that says Robbie Amell's really the president. And then they shred it, and then he knocks over the shredding, and then he reapportions it. And then Robbie Amell walks in there and sees it and goes, ooh.
Yeah. But this cat has perfectly laid out all of the paper in those strips. Now that's the scene I want to see, writers. Show me how you did that, you idiots.
The 45 minutes of first of all, if this is a real place, they have cross-cutting shredder, which leaves you with
for sure
nothing.
And also, he knocks over the statue to break open the box. Robbie Amell hears the statue falling, looks around.
Oh, does he? I don't remember.
And then goes to the door.
So he lays that out.
This happened in 30 seconds. Tops. Ridiculous.
Nope. So, yes, gets the article. So then we have the scene that is the weirdest scene in the whole movie.
Is it?
Yes, it is absolutely the weirdest scene. It is a scene between his doctor and Ian. Ian stands there and is like, "You need to convince these people that he has no chance of dying." And then she's like,
right.
"Yes, I do." It's just like this weird...
You're absolutely right. That's a great point. We're wasting valuable resources. So let's get him out of here.
It's a super weird scene that sort of justifies when the doctor tells him that he's likely to die, but you're just like, why do you need to... It was such a weird scene.
It doesn't make no sense.
Ian. And then we have this really weird scene where the cat watches her undress.
Oh, that's right.
It's so weird.
Yep, super weird. Super weird.
And he's like, "I'm sorry." And then she's like, "Do you need a cuddle?" And, she's like, "This is a special treat just for us."
Yeah. Yeah, it's all very weird. And then they wake up and he's like...
in her hair.
Petting her hair. It's all very creepy.
And she says, "Are you trying to be my hairdresser?"
Yeah, great joke. Really great joke, guys. Idiots.
And then Ian's at the apartment. Just to be an asshole.
Yeah. Well, at least he's sticking to his character.
So the cat attacks him. Whatever. So Robbie Amell has called the board in for a meeting, and then he's going to do a whole big thing, but Ian uncalls the meeting and then has him escorted away like he could just do whatever he wants with the company, even though...
Right. I'm very confused about the power dynamics, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
That kind of sums it up. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. So if Robbie calls the meeting,
yeah,
and then another person shows up and is like, "Hey, I'm going to cancel this meeting." Why do you listen to that? If you come to the meeting, stay till the guy that calls the meeting shows up. That's just common sense, common decency.
But they all hate him because they all want to make billions and sell the company.
But then why did they show up to a meeting that he called?
I don't know. More importantly... Did you ever see Michael Clayton, the greatest movie ever made by human beings?
Is that the George Clooney? Yes. Yeah. Not for a long time.
In that movie, it's all about this merger, right? They're trying to get this merger to happen.
Yep.
And it's this whole sort of subplot that just creeps around. And for these two companies to merge, it's just like there's all this SEC stuff, just like an infinite amount of crazy paperwork and hoops that has to be jumped through. And they're making it sound like you can make this thing go public without even knowing,
like that.
without even knowing who owns the company, essentially. And
Well, that's my so. He still owns 51%.
Uh-huh.
He's still alive.
Yeah.
How can they even do
They
that?
can't. And that's the whole thing. There's no like secret thing we could do things while he's asleep.
Right, you can't
Because
just like get around that legal issue.
in like 24 hours. No, you can't. This is real business. This is billion-dollar business.
Yeah.
They need to, everything needs to be notarized 100,000 times. It's not like, well, slapdash, whatever, who cares? We just accidentally sold the company. And, you know, I'm sure if
We accidentally sold the company. Now, that's a movie I want to see, Dan. They're just going over the paper and we're like, oh my God, did we just sell the company? Oh no.
I checked the sell box on this piece of paper. What was I thinking?
That's good.
Stupid. Now, okay, so now the little girl has gone to the cat store and she's like, I want to return this cat. Why does she want to return the cat?
Dan, I didn't understand this at all because she thinks the cat is her dad at this point, right? So why is she sending it back? And then he's like, you sure you want to send it back? She's like, I don't know.
And then the phone starts ringing. And you're like, why the fuck is the phone ringing? And
nobody acknowledges the phone for like a full minute. It's just ringing and they're still just going about the business. And I thought it was my phone. I was like, what? Are we ringing? What's happening right now?
And so he
stupid.
Casually pulls out a 45 and is like, you need to listen to this. And he puts it on.
But then doesn't turn it on. He puts it on the machine and then leaves. Do you think this girl has ever seen a record in her life? She doesn't know how to turn it on.
We've seen those YouTube videos. Those kids, they see like a rotary phone and they're like, their brains explode. Right. They're like slamming on it, trying to act like it has buttons. Make buttons! Make buttons! It's Three Cool Cats. That's the name of the song.
Okay, it is Cool Cat. I thought it was cool. I thought they were very cool.
So he goes to answer the phone to let her, and she turns on the record, and then she starts dancing with the cat, which totally affirms that. But didn't she already dance with the cat?
I mean, I don't know if they danced, but they did a lot of other stuff.
Oh, but she'd watched the video of dancing with her dad, so that's the whole thing.
Yes, that's what it is. But I have a question. Why is the song important at this point? Is the song the thing that brings I don't get it. Like, what is the point of this song? I am so confused. Also, just real quickly, I want to touch on when they enter this building, when they're walking down, and the cats on the side are like, ooh, look who's back. You remember this? Yeah. They say the same thing 3 times in 3 different ways. It's like the cats don't even have their own personalities, which is weird. It's like, oh, look who's back. I knew you'd be back. Hey, you're back. What is happening? This is so stupid.
And then everyone's at the hospital. And the little girl's like,
yes.
Cat, the dad is the cat. Dad is the cat.
Dad cat.
And then somehow, how did he even realize David was going to commit suicide?
They see him on TV at the top of the building.
No, he's leaving.
The family.
He's leaving, but he's leaving.
Oh, you mean Kevin Spacey? Because he's the only one that knows. Yeah, he's the only one that's figured it out.
Why does he think that he's going to commit suicide?
Because he's in the bag. Remember? He's like in the backpack.
Yeah.
And Robbie Amell is like, Dad, I'm going to take my first and last jump. And it's like, whoa. He's going to kill himself. And he's like crying. And he's like, I love you, Dad. Goodbye. And then leaves. And the cat. Okay, I forgot. This is a great time to mention. Dear people who made this fucking movie, a cat does not meow every time it moves. There is so much fake meowing in this movie. Like when just walking is like the whole fucking movie. And then this one scene where a cat is literally trapped in a bag and can't get out. It could barely breathe, probably. It makes no sound. There's not a single meow like, hey, I'm in the bag, meow, meow. And then he falls off the fucking chair, hits the ground on his side, doesn't even land on his feet because he's in a bag, makes no sound, and Robbie Amell walks out the building. The one time in the movie the cat doesn't make any sounds, the only time that would make sense to make a sound. Sorry. These people have never seen a cat before in their real life. Never once in their life. So dumb. Finish my water now because I'm so upset.
Oh, it's so funny. Oh, you're so angry. So basically, he thinks his son's gonna go commit suicide, so he chases him as opposed to staying there to try and become human again.
And that's the moment we're supposed to be like, oh, look, he did a selfless act.
That's a selfless act. And I will say there was one point at which, maybe when she was watching the videos of her dad and the cat was there, like I felt like a little bit of emotion, you know? And you got that, you know, no dad is better than no dad. You got that sort of warm feeling that you're supposed to get in these movies, right?
Fucking Jack Frost. That's a great movie to bring up, Dan, because that movie is not great, but it does this same story so much better.
So much better. Because you actually felt, you know, it was really stupid and corny and lame, but at least they did all of these things in the right order and in the right way. This movie is like, he's a dick. So
I missed that.
He figures out how to get into the thing, and Christopher Walken is there, and blah, blah. He's up on the roof. Robbie Amell's there.
Oh, we skipped a lot of good stuff here, Dan. I just want to touch real quickly on the press conference. So there's a press conference happening in front of the building, right? Robbie Amell has snuck in and is heading up to the top. Kevin Spacey, Cat Spacey, walks up and is at the front door, which is in the view of all of the cameras. There's like 100 people looking right at this door. He's like scratching at it. No one pays any attention. And then they send a henchman over with a plastic bag who, in front of all these people, just traps a cat in a plastic bag and then walks off. Nobody says anything. You telling me that not a single person saw this happen? It's bullshit. And then he throws it in a dumpster. Like he's going to go throw a cat in a dumpster. What an idiot.
So he gets up there, and then they both end up going over the side, and then he's grabbed this wire, and so you're like, is he going to like grab it?
What is that wire?
The wire or something?
What is it?
It's like so weird. And then we see the parachute, and he somehow is floating between like this. Why did they have that like sort of scaffolding on the outside of the building? Because it just made it even more absurd.
What's confusing, because isn't this the grand opening of the building? So it should be done. The building should be done being built, right?
It's not actually a scaffolding. It's more like a surface texture thing. It's like a thing that's on.
So you're saying that's built into the building?
Yeah.
That's there all the time?
It's cosmetic.
Because that's dumb.
It's bullshit cosmetic shit, which seems really weird.
Wait, so here's the thing.
What's the thing?
The cat goes over the edge and is chasing Robbie, right? And then he gets close enough that he sees the parachute and he goes, oh. Like he realizes that, oh, it's okay. He's going to be fine. Meanwhile, he's still plummeting to his death as a cat. Doesn't care at all. Robbie Amell locks eyes with the cat and is like, Mr. Fuzzy Pants?
Doesn't think to reach over and grab the cat.
Right? It's just like, oh, weird. See you in the next life. I'm pulling my cord, you stupid cat who's going to fall to his death. What the fuck kind of a movie is this?
You know, I just thought about it. And this would have been 100 times better movie if he'd have grabbed the cat, landed with the cat, headed back to the hospital, and then the switch had gone back and everything would have been fine.
Yes, 100%.
It's Mr. Fuzzy Pants and then Mr. That's actually a good ending for this terrible movie.
Right, 100%. It's cute and it's fun. That's fine. Instead, these writers live out their fantasy of throwing a cat off of a giant tower because they hate cats so much. They just wanted to kill one in this movie.
So
this movie is offensive.
Robbie Amell takes over the press conference and's like, I'm in charge and you're all fired and now we can have this tower is the greatest because it's the longest base jumped tower ever.
Right.
And but it's like, but that lands like with this lead balloon. It's kind of like they wanted that to be like this emotional payoff, but it like goes,
It's like, who?
Bleh.
I don't care about that.
Bleh.
Does anybody care about that? I don't think so. In 4 years, is anyone going to remember, like, what? Now, didn't someone jump off a building that was tall? I don't know, but look at this building. It's way taller.
And then Ian, something bad happens to Ian, and then he gets transferred into the body of the cat, Lil Bub.
Oh, Christopher Walken essentially pushes him in front of a car.
Oh, is that what
I mean, he doesn't push him, but he's like, hey, watch where you're walking. And then the guy takes a step and gets hit by a car, which is very weird.
And then they go back to the cat store and get the cat back from Christopher Walken.
And to be honest, I'm still waiting for 9 Lives 2 with Ian as the centerfold. That's going to be a good movie because he's definitely going to learn his lesson.
Ugh. So, Tony, anything else to say about this train wreck? I thought we were going to be done with this one in 15 minutes, but man,
I'm sorry.
really hated
That's
movie.
on me. That's on me. I just want to reiterate how offensive this movie is to people who like cats, because this movie is severely anti-cat and it's abusive to cats and just constantly is like a fake, like the cat is so unrealistic as a cat. I know for sure they've never seen a cat in their lives. We skated over a part that I'd like to bring up real quickly. Just real quickly, I apologize. It's when the cat's sneaking into the building and the security guards are there.
Oh, God.
And they are watching the video on YouTube of the earlier cat chase in the apartment, which I would like to say wasn't funny when I watched it the first time. But now you've put it in your movie as a joke where 2 people are laughing hysterically at it, and it makes me angry because it's not funny that time either. And then, Dan, the cat's there, and they take out their tasers, and they're going to tase a fucking cat. And they are filming it, and they're like, we're gonna become YouTube famous.
I think they're going to
That is not what makes cat videos.
I think they're going to be YouTube famous for being horrible and lose their jobs.
They're going to go to jail for animal cruelty. It's not funny to hurt a cat. That's not what makes a YouTube video funny. Cats doing funny things, amazing, hilarious. Cats falling, funny. You, as a human, tasing a fucking little cat, not funny.
More importantly, in addition, earlier in the movie, this one woman was watching him as he escaped down the thing to go and get in her car, and she's like laughing at that. Like it's this hilarious, look at this cat moving.
Yep. Just kind of walking around, running, climbing stuff. Not funny. I don't even know if they've seen like a good YouTube cat video. There's billions of them out there, guys. You put some at the beginning of your movie. So I just want to say it seems like, and I don't want to, cast rumors, but it seems like these people hate cats and want to hurt cats as much as they can. Because it happens several times in the movie, and then they murder one. And then at the end of the movie, sorry guys, I am talking a lot. I apologize, Stan. At the end of the movie, in his stupid voiceover, where he's like, you probably want to hear I learned something, but I didn't. He says this: cats are still selfish animals, but I'm not one of them anymore. As if that's the lesson of the movie. Like, oh, good, I'm no longer a shitty cat. Fuck you guys. Cats are great. My cat is a loving, sweet gentleman.
Just like you, Tony.
I don't think it is just like me.
Just like you. A loving gentleman.
Oh, I hate this movie, Dan.
His heart grew 3 sizes bigger right then because of how much Tony loves cats.
Is that what it is?
That's what it is. So now's the portion of the show where we talk about something we enjoyed this week. We watched this documentary, I think it's on Netflix, about this guy, White Boy Rick, who is this like they talk about him in rap songs and stuff, who was like this low-level drug dealer, and he like was dating like the mayor's niece, and they like, it's like the craziest story when you watch it, all about the corruption of Chicago and the corruption of the cops in Chicago. And this guy gets painted as like the drug kingpin of Chicago, and they put him in jail, and he's just because he was dating the niece of the mayor. And it's
What?
when you watch this documentary, you're just like, what is happening? And then this poor kid.
That sounds awesome.
This poor kid has spent his whole life in jail because of corrupt politicians, sort of people. At least that's what this documentary seems to say.
Sure.
And it's nuts. It's just nuts.
That's wild, man.
So pretty interesting. I think it's called White Rick or White Boy or Boy Rick, but they call him White Boy Rick, like in the rap songs and everything. What do you got for us, Tony?
I know that sounds depressing. Mine is also sort of a documentary, but also not really at all. We have fallen in love with this YouTube channel called Matt's RV Reviews. It is delightful. If you have any interest in RV walkthroughs or reviews, check this guy out because he is a delight. He's kind of got my kind of body. He's like a chubby white guy and just like super sweet. And I don't want to say he's just like, it's a little silly. Like he's having a good time, just trying to sell RVs, having a great time. He's a lovely guy. And we've watched, I don't know, 40, 45 videos of this week.
That is the glory of the internet, is when you go down certain rabbit holes. You know, I went down my British comedy rabbit hole and we just sit out there watching like British panel shows and on YouTube. And it's like, there's so many facets of entertainment. And then there's so many that are terrible. You know, I was sitting there trying to watch something before I was going to sleep. And I like looked at probably 100 shows on Netflix and Hulu. And I was just like, who could watch any of these? These all just look terrible.
I'll probably watch a couple.
They're all things Tony likes. So now it's the point at which I get to pick something I want to watch and then make Tony watch.
All right.
This is going to be a movie I'm sure Tony loves. It is a movie I have never seen, and so I may love it or I may hate it. I have no idea. But
you're probably going to love it.
But they're making a sequel to this movie, so I thought we should probably watch this, and then if I really hate it, then we'll watch the sequel. Because I will probably hate that, and then Tony will probably love the sequel, and it'll be a lot of fun that way. This movie,
what is this?
This movie has 2 words in its name, and those words are space and jam.
Full disclosure, Dan, I do indeed love this movie.
Well, we're gonna
so much.
We're gonna find out if this is a good movie or a bad movie, an entertaining movie or a not entertaining movie.
Oh, it's entertaining, Dan. You're going to love it. You know what? I'm calling it right now. This is going to be your new favorite movie.
Now,
and welcome to the jam.
Yeah. Now, have you watched the trailer for the new one?
I have.
And
this is going to be controversial.
It looked terrible to me.
It looks awful.
Okay.
And so...
Okay.
I think I'm predisposed to dislike it because of my strong dislike for LeBron James.
Oh, you hate the king.
Yeah, I don't like him, and I also don't think he looks good. But
I think he looks good. What the hell does that mean?
If you look back at it, like a good actor, entertaining actor.
Sure.
And he wasn't terrible in Trainwreck. So I'm open to it.
Okay.
But I did think the trailer looked quite terrible.
It looked terrible. So we're going to go see Space Jam. You've seen it, I'm sure, many times, actually.
So many times.
I've never seen it. I've never seen even a minute of it. I have a basic idea that they play cosmic cartoons in outer space for some reason with the Looney Tunes, which seems stupid, but we'll see.
It'll all make sense.
It'll all make sense. It'll be 93 minutes of my life where I'm like, what the hell is this? Kids are stupid. So we're staying with the kids. It is a kids movie, right?
Listen. This is, thank God we're doing this. What a treat that this is going to be for everyone out there and myself. Yeah. I will tell you that I think like 4 or 5 years ago they did like a re-release in the theaters, and we went and saw it, and it was beautiful.
There it is. So
I believe I can fly.
Yeah, well, don't copyright us.
I believe I can touch the sky.
Can't take the strikes, Tony. Not that they'll strike us because we don't have ads.
No, I think people have to watch it for anyone to care.
That also too. So this has been Hate Watching with Dan and Tony. If you like what you see, tell your friends. Leave a comment. leave a thumbs up. Don't know this, only this.
Sure.
And yeah, thanks for.
And if you don't like what you see, go check out Matt's RV reviews just on the other page of YouTube, because you're definitely going to enjoy that.
And so this has been another episode. I bid you adieu.
Bye, everybody.